Welcome to part 4 of my 4-part video series, From Post to Profits, your step-by-step guide to social media success in 2025. We talked about a lot, you guys. We talked about how to optimize your Instagram account, how to make a plan for your content, how to create the most engaging and best content that's going to bring eyeballs to your page. You can be doing all of these great things with your Instagram account, but if you drop the ball on conversion, it's almost as if you have wasted all of your efforts because you're not making any money from your Instagram account. If you're posting on social media right now and maybe there's something that's missing, you're not really sure what it is, but you're just not seeing the clicks over to your website, the appointments being booked, the products being purchased. Today, I'm hoping that we can try to figure out what is missing from your content so we can close that gap and bring more sales to your business. So in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the 4 most common conversion mistakes that small businesses are making when it comes to their content on social media. How to optimize your content to get better conversion if that's the problem that you are having within your content. And lastly, we're going to talk about when, or if at all, you should be investing in meta ads and how to do it the right way. My goal for you is to walk away with a very clear action plan on how you're going to get more conversion out of your social media content so that you can get more sales for your business. So let's dive in. Why is your social media content not working for you? I see so many businesses ignoring the conversion funnel. There are 3 phases that we need to be making content around. If you're not making content for each one of these 3 phases, you're gonna have a gap somewhere in your process of the customer journey. The top of the funnel is usually the engage side of things. Some businesses will try to be like, oh, I want viral content because I want as many eyeballs to my page. But if these people are not interested buyers, it's going to be wasted efforts anyway because they're not going to buy from you. The biggest gap that I see is the nurture phase. People just ignore this completely sometimes. They focus on viral content and then they focus on selling content. If you're not creating that nurturing content, this is where you're providing that education, you're bringing them into a community, you're making your content relatable. That nurture phase is the biggest phase. That's where most people spend the most time before buying from you. And that's the part where we tend to just fall flat on knowing like how to create content that speaks to these people. Now, a lot of businesses know that they need to have some type of call to action, but a lot of them don't realize how weak that call to action really is, or it's not very clear. If you have ever used the words learn more or see more or DM us, a lot of that does not offer a very clear description of what that viewer is going to be expecting when they click this button. We need to have something to guide the user over to this link and click here. I highly recommend everybody do a lead magnet, or a freebie is another word for it. Get a free consultation now or download our exclusive guide today. These are going to be things that let people know the minute that they click on that link what is going to be happening for them. You can really maximize conversion simply just by telling them what you want them to do. Number 3, I'm going to kind of combine 2 things here. Not understanding what your audience needs and pushing a lot of sales heavy content. I put these together because, well, let's face it, if you're pushing a lot of sales heavy content, you're probably not listening to what they actually need. And a lot of your posts are coming across as like an ad. And I've said this time and time again across all of my different videos. So please go back and watch video 1, 2, and 3. Instagram and social media is not a place for you to sell your product. We need to make sure that our Instagram, first and foremost, is communicating and building, a connection with the audience. So if I go through your profile right now, if I see a lot of stuff that has your product or your service in it, I'm going to say you're leaning way too heavy into the sales content. And we need to be focusing on what we can provide the audience to make them more interested in being there to begin with. So really make sure that you know the purpose of your Instagram account and the reason why people are even following you to begin with. And lastly is the overuse of stock images. I love stock images just as much as the next person. If you notice, I use stock video in all of my B-roll for my YouTube videos, but I'm using them in collaboration with my talking head. I think if you are relying way too much on stock image and stock video, you're gonna come off looking really fake and sometimes even spammy. So if you have an account right now and there's no human face in there at all, that's a red flag. Having a picture that actually speaks to the type of business that you are, having a person's face, your employees, yourself, is going to make a world of a difference. I'm not sure where you fall between these 4 mistakes, but each one of them are very important in their own right. If you need any help with this, leave a comment down below. Let's chat so that I can see what's going on. But you may be suffering from one of these 4 problems within your own social media funnel. Conversion can be different things for different people. It's not always going to be sales. It could be that, even just driving them over to your email list, that could be a conversion. It really depends on what your marketing objectives are and how this fits into the greater scheme of your business goals and your marketing goals. So keep that in mind, because I say conversion to try to encompass whatever goal you have. So now that you know that you have a problem, right? First step is knowing you have a problem. The second step is optimizing your content for conversion. Number 1 is using more interactive content. This is usually going to be in the form of stories, but usually by creating engaging content that makes people interact, you're going to see who your top buyers are. Who are the people that are most willing to talk to you? Who are the people that are watching all of your stories? And you can make note of those people so that you can nurture them further. The second way to optimize for conversion is adding some social proof. So this is one of my favorite ways, because a lot of businesses will post content about their products and services. So it's more like a success story, it's a testimonial, it's a before and after, where you're selling yourself, you're selling your business, but you're doing so in a little bit of a different way that's a little more entertaining, and it shows the value way more than you just telling someone the value. Number 3, showing the transformation. This one's a little bit different from the last one, because the last one is a little bit more focused on the user, on the customer, and showing the social proof of them working with you, right? Whereas here, where we're showing the transformation, this is more of the behind the scenes process, or the journey of you creating it. The transformation is so important to building credibility and making people watch and convert. If you are having a problem with people clicking and converting, it's because they don't trust you. It's because they haven't felt that connection to you yet in order to buy from you, especially if you have something that's really expensive. And finally, one of the ways to optimize, by doing something like a mini chat, you're able to capture the people that are most interested and get them over to the DMs with an automated software. If someone is on social media, it's very hard to get them over to a different website without encouraging them with something really easy. So if you have a free template or a free guide, you tell them, type sunshine in the comments and you're gonna get a copy of this free guide. That is something that incentivizes them to do it, but also doesn't require them to go outside of the app and fill out a form, because you're making it super, super easy and you're giving them exactly what they want. And finally, I wanna talk about ads, but not in the way that you're thinking. Ads can be good to amplify your reach as a business, right? And get you in front of more people. But if you don't have a strong foundation on your profile, your ads are not going to do any better. If anything, you're going to be wasting a lot of money, because people are going to be clicking on your ad and they're not following through to the sale. You may have a ton of money that you are putting towards your ads on Instagram, but if the content of the ad itself is not that great, you're going to have a really hard time with conversion. I've seen this a lot where businesses will ask, I'm spending all this money on ads, people are clicking the ad, but it's not going anywhere. And they think the answer is adding more money to ads. That is not the best solution, in my opinion. I think that there's a lot of things that could be going wrong, whether it's your target audience, the message of the content itself, or even just your profile in general, right? So we need to take a step back, and before we start spending money on ads, which I already don't 100% love the idea of giving Meta all of my money, so to each his own. But if you are in that same place, I think that there's a lot of things that you can do organically to see better conversion than you would from an ad. First things first, let's talk about organic versus paid strategy. I am a strong believer in building an engaged and authentic long-term community and audience through consistent posting of unique and engaging content over the short-term hit of a post that you put in an ad. Organic content will foster trust, build loyalty, and and build a meaningful relationship with people who are following you. And that's just something that ads can't do. So I personally recommend that if you are a small business owner and you already have a limited marketing budget to begin with, I don't think ads are the place where you should start. I really think that you should invest in someone who can manage your social media presence with creating consistent content, engaging content, and managing the relationships that you're building there so that you can form a community of people who are willing to buy from you. Paying money into ads is a short-term answer to a much bigger problem. After you've spent time investing and nurturing the relationships on your social media, then you can start dabbling in ads. But a lot of businesses will try to do this at the very beginning. Ads should be an amplifier. It shouldn't be a crutch for your business. Once you've identified a very solid foundation for your social media, you're in the habit of creating consistently, you have a really good content strategy and a content plan, and you are posting regularly for a while, and you're getting, regular engagement on your posts, that's when you can start dabbling in ads, right? Like once you've hit a plateau where you're like, okay, we're doing everything that we need to be doing. We're showing up, we're showing our face, we're authentic, we're trying to build trust. At that point, you can use ads as a temporary boost to expand your reach on content that's already working for you, as opposed to starting from scratch, using an ad and playing the guessing game and trying to figure it all out before you had a consistent foundation underneath you. One of the reasons why I always say organic is going to be better than ads is because with ads, you are speaking to a cold audience, right? Like if you have a solid content foundation, you're going to have warm leads. These are a warm audience that's interested already because they kind of know who you are, as opposed to blasting out your name to people who have never heard of you before. What you should do if you are in this position and you are spending money on ads, I would try to take a step back and focus on retargeting ads rather than just boosting out to a cold audience. By trying to target people who have already been engaging with you in some capacity, that's going to be way more helpful for you. So I do recommend that if you're going to do ads and you're trying to increase your conversion, maybe that's one of the biggest problems that you're having, and trying to use retargeted ads as a way to solve that problem. So I want you to remember that consistency on your platform and organic growth are always going to be the foundations that you can come back to. Spending money on ads should be seen as a tool to amplify what's already working, right? And get more eyeballs to the content that's working, as opposed to trying to just rely on ads because your reach isn't working organically. And that's what I'm seeing from a lot of business owners. They are using ads as a guessing game to see if they can get the right people to magically start paying them money when their audience isn't even invested who's watching their content. The people on their actual follower list are not actually caring about the content that you're posting. So if they don't care, how are we going to get people from an ad who's a cold audience member to actually be interested in what you have to say? I've seen a lot of marketing agencies that are specifically performance marketing agencies where they help businesses put ads on, social media platforms and Google Ads. And while I think that that is a good service to offer, I think that that should be side by side with a good social media management and content creation plan. To sum up everything that I've been saying in this 4-part video series, it is so important that you focus on your audience and what they are wanting and needing from you. Build a connection with them. When you post content, you are a human talking to another human. We need to be getting down on that level and talking to our people, because those are the people that are going to buy from you, especially if you're selling something that's very expensive. You need to build that authenticity within your strategy, and then use ads as an amplifier later down the road after you have figured out your entire plan and you're consistently creating content on your social media. If you haven't done so yet, please go watch the first 3 videos of this video series because they are so vital to establishing the content that we talked about today. Thank you so much again for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. See you next week. Bye.